Hello! Today we will try something different and after action report, a smaller one, more narrative. And with a bit of late, I present you the Battle of Castiglione during the First Italian Campaign. Hello, it's the dawn of August the 5th, 1976, and the forces of Napoleon are crashing into the Austrian, led by Marshal Wurmster, in what we know as the Battle of Castiglione. I try to replicate with my models and my terrain as best as I can the situation on the field, so keep in mind that every battalion here in reality is a brigade, because I have not enough model, and especially not enough space to really fit enough model. So down there you can see the tower of Solferino, the Solferino village behind the hill. Here with a Castiglione there, and the rest. And this is Mount Medole, where the Austrians have an redoubt. So moving to show you the deployment. Up there start with Massena with 3 demi-brigade lean, the 32nd veteran demi-brigade, and then the 18 and 11 demi-brigade lean, and 2 demi-brigade Légère, the 4th and the 18 Légère. 1 battery of artillery and cheval and 1 company of voltigeurs complete his division. Then coming to the center, where Augereau was fought the day before, as deployed his division, composed by 3 demi-brigade de ligne, here, and here, the 51st, 45 and 69, then in front a veteran Légère brigade 17, and behind him Napoleon itself with a squadron of consular guard, and here we have a unit of dragoon. This unit here is upgraded with melee and tenacity elite, and so is the Légère in front. The same for Massena as the 32nd, famous 32nd demi-brigade, and its 18 Légère here. Then Mormont battery of gun here, and finally Beaumont division, which have the task to storm the redoubt. So you have 3 units of cavalry, dragoon, and 1 unit of 5th Hussar and chasseur on cheval, and then 2 units of strong combined grenadier here complete the Beaumont division. Then in reserve we have the Augereau Serrurier division, which in reality was led by Fiorella, which arrived in reserve later on. And this is the Fiorella division, so 3 demi-brigade de ligne and 1 unit of dragoon that will appear later on. So moving into the Austrian. The Austrian has their deployment secured by Monte Medole and till the road to Lonato here. So we have Wurmster, which leads the army here, and close by there is the brigade in reserve, made by 2 grenadier brigade and 1 of dragoon. Then the center, the main line, is held by Davidovich, which leading 2 brigade of Grenzen and 2 unit of light cavalry. Then as officer commanding 4 brigade of infantry, and on as a kind of vanguard detachment 1 company of Jaeger held the tower of Solferino here, 1 battery of infantry, and the wood is taken by the brigade of also the brigade of Jaeger. General Liptai here as a commander of the left wing, and his lead 1, 2, 3, 4 1, 2, 3, and 4 brigade of line infantry, and Montemedole is held by a battery of heavy artillery and a brigade of Grenzen. And back of them there is Gamma division, which has 2 battalions of infantry and 2 of cavalry, hussars, and lance 2. I decided to try to replicate what happened. So the EA lead the Austrian, and the plan is envelope left. So the unit of Liptai will try to envelope Massena, and we'll see, while the center will hold, and the main asset of the defense of the center and the left is this battery here, and the line infantry here, which try to stop the British using probably the mass formation to hold the cavalry at bay. On the other side, I will personally lead the French, will try to assault Massena, will try to assault the Solferino, and if they manage to conquer the wood and the tower, then try to also envelope the Austrian there, and they will hold for their reserves to see if they can attack on the back for the Austrian. I will try to make more narrative batrep, so less explanation, but tell you what is happening during the battle. Hope that you will enjoy it. So we start. The fire from the French battery momentarily silenced the Austrian gun, which also failed to rally. So at the moment they do not shoot. Davidovich pushed forward his infantry, taking the mass formation to resist the cavalry. Around the front the Austrians lightly advanced, while on the hills of Solferino the first blood was spilled. Here on the hill the fire from the Leger silenced the guns, but the first blood was taken by the Austrian. The 18th Demi-Brigade assault the woods, while the Jäger fight fiercely. They and shaken, but in return they crushed the Demi-Brigade, which routed and left the 32nd alone to face them in front of the incoming flanking force that Liptai has moved on that side. So now the battle rage on, while in the distance the hoofs of the horses from Fiorella is arriving. The French attack as a storm the battery, crushing them with the charge of the chasseur or cheval, while the grenadier crushed one of the brigade of Liptai, and in the center a fierce fight sprang among the chasseur of Massena and the cavalry of Davidovich in the middle, but the Austrian has take casualty here, and their commander wavered under the push of the French, taking defeat both Liptai and Davidovich and spreading casualty all around. Then on the hill, Massena pushes forward, his attack forward. Despite the defeat taken in the previous assault, now the Leger take the woods, crushing the Jäger inside, and the Par will lead in this side of the attack also take one defeat, and that's it for this moment. The French momentum now started to rise, and the Austrian have to fight back as best as they can. The fight on the hill of Solferino is fierce, and the 18th Demi-Brigade Leger held the line, or despite they became shaken by the attack of the Austrian, they stay where they are and held the wood. The cavalry, charged by the Grenzen brigade, was forced back, but the Grenzen cannot destroy it. On the other side, the battle is also fierce, and while the chasseurs were dispersed by the fire of the Grenzen, the grenadier held the line against this Austrian en masse, and the cavalry charge the Leger of Augereau in front, and they take emergency square, but the Austrian press the attack and successfully crush the French, exhausted French, then retreat because they take a severe casualty in the process. But no defeat was inflicted because Augereau held his morale, and the same is Bourier here. So that's it. And now the approaching of Fiorella men probably could change the battle. It will see in the turn that will follow. The fight for Monte Medolano is fierce, and all across the battle line the fighting was fierce. Here the dragoon successfully dislodged the Granson, and then you can say that more troops were sent in by the Gamma division, held in reserve. The rest of the Gamma division take defensive position against the incoming men of Fiorella, and even the reserves of von Margrum, Grenadier and Dragoon taken position to face the threat on the rear of the Austrian. The rest of the Austrian in the center simply take a defensive position, moving from the attack to a defense. They take line and shoot, the artillery shoot, the Granson shoot, and their fire is pretty effective because the Massena division is the one that suffered the most. The light horse artillery was destroyed, and the nerve of half of the brigade break, and the units fled the field. The rest of the fire put many casualties into the French, but their morale is steady. On that side, Wurmser ordered a retreat of the Austrian and a fallback to set a defensive line. So these two battalions here, seeing the French fled the wood, but they fall back and take a line position, and this unit, which was charged by the French, retreated 12 inches and moved back to support the line and try to rally. As I said, Massena division is what suffered the most. The 17 Leger here break their nerve due to the destruction of the artillery. But the Solferino Tower was taken by the other Leger battalion, in the 32nd veteran demi-brigade is still fresh and ready to take the fight. Also its chasseur is gone, but all in all, both the army are suffering the casualty, but the fight rage on, and now proceeding the battle with the French turn. After 2 hours of severe fighting, the balance of the game slowly moved into the French end, but the Austrian sold their life bravely. Finally, the hill is conquered by the Dragoon, which clear the massed brigade of the Austrian, and Monte Medolano is in the French hand, while the other brigade of the Austrian general Gammer countercharge the elite brigade of Fiorella, being shaken in the ensuing fight. Liptai is held front with what rest of his division, and the fire put casualty into the incoming grenadier, while this square here survive a charge of Uhlans, being shaken by the cavalry is routed. The dragoon take casualty and are also shaken in this side, while this brigade reposition themselves to protect the flank. Massena fail to receive their order, so remain stationary essentially where they are. The rest of the fight is here, between the men of Fiorella and the reserves of von Magrum. The grenadier crushed the line, while the French dragoon crushed the Austrian counterpart. Fiorella failed the Fortitude test and take a defeat, but without cavalry the situation may change swiftly. And now moving on in the next ferocious turn. Situation for the Austrians looks grim every moment, more than before, but they sell their life bravely. Gamma division is finally destroyed. by the combined attack of this dragoon and this veteran line demi-brigade, and Liptai always save at the moment this battery of artillery. On that side, the fire proved nothing then effective against the Massena men in the woods and in the tower of Solferino. And here the grenadier fight fiercely against the French, but despite they are shaken, they not also shaken in return the grenadier, but they held the line, taking 3 Valor tests consecutively. The consular guard, the personal escort of Napoleon, was sent forward, but they take a casualty when the square was destroyed by the artillery fire. Probably the battle is going to end soon, because the Austrian situation is grim, and Wurmster has few troops and few possibility to hold the French at bay. But the French are almost exhausted all across the line, so we will see. If now Massena can push out of Solferino and crush the flank of the Austrian, if this will happen, the battle is over, because the forces at disposal of Wurmster are practically now quite surrounded. Now we'll see what is happening in the last few turns of this battle, ferocious battle. And after the last couple of turns, Wurmster sound a retreat, and what remain of the Austria move back along the road as fast as possible to reach Mantua, and the French, exhausted, start to follow them, but without much more conviction. So what is happened is that this brigade here finally crush Liptai, and here the reserve division was crushed by the Fiorella Mansa, and down there the 32nd Demi Brigade crushed the line in a couple of turns, and with all this few men at disposal and the battery deployed and everything else, Wurmster sound the retreat. The final score is 13 for the French, 13 defeat inflicted to Wurmster against the 3 inflicted to Napoleon. So all in all, in a crushing victory for the French. And that's it for the Battle of Castiglione. I hope that you like it, and let me know in the comment below if this new kind of video, more shorter and more narrative, is better than the other one. For now it's all. Thank you for watching. Bye bye and happy wargaming.